Hello, folks. Charlie Gipple here with CG Financial Group. Something miraculous is happening in Washington, and it is that we have a bill that has just passed the House of Representatives that is a bipartisan effort. What is this bill? It's called the Secure Act. The Secure Act is something put forth, well, obviously by Congress, in order to increase the savings rates of Americans. It's no secret that we in America have not saved enough for retirement. But not only the savings rates, also the security during retirement. And let me explain what I mean by that. The security during retirement, I'm talking about guaranteed lifetime income. So if I, as an advisor, go to a employer today, and if I set that employer up with this 401k plan, for instance, and that 401k plan is just, some mess, some mixture that I randomly put together of investments, and that employer's employees are now contributing to those investments are Ponzi schemes or whatever, that employer could be sued, right? Why? Because the employees lost all their money, and hey, we listened to you, our employer. So anyway, in order to hedge against employers getting sued by trying to do something that's very noble, provide retirement plans to the employees, what you have is safe harbor provisions with ERISA. ERISA, who governs these employer-sponsored plans, gives employers safe harbor provisions, which basically says, if you do this, and this, by offering these investment options to your employees, you can't be sued effectively. But anyway, annuities have never been a part of this safe harbor. But a big effort with this bill is to make annuities. The Employee Benefit Research Institute did a study, and this study came back that 80% of employees say that they would like some sort of a lifetime option, a lifetime income option within their employer-sponsored plans. So anyway, this bill aims to make annuities a part of the safe harbor. What that looks like ultimately, who knows what that looks like. So that's one part of the bill which would increase the prominence of annuities. Another part of the bill is required distributions. Instead of age 70 and a half, required distributions move back to age 72. Now another part of this, if you're looking behind me here at my projector screen I have in my office, you'll see that ultimately, I'm probably going to have to delete these slides. Why is that? Because the stretch IRA, this would be the death of the stretch IRA unless this provision is stripped out. And by the way, the stretch IRA has been around for about 20 years now. And here's really the concept of the stretch IRA, which is probably a moot point. Let's say that John Doe today has $1 million. John Doe passes away at age 70. Let's say that Jimmy Doe is age 50, for instance. It doesn't matter in this scenario how old he is, but traditionally, prior to the year 2000, actually I think it was 2001, where the IRS launched or released a private letter ruling, which kind of made way for the stretch IRA. There were really two options, right, at that time. One option was to annuitize it for the lifetime of Jimmy Doe, the beneficiary, or the other option was to cash it out within a 5-year period of time, just completely cash out that $1 million in our example that Jimmy Doe got, for Jimmy Doe to cash that out within a 5-year period of time. What did Jimmy Doe usually do when he has an insurance carrier or a mutual fund company call him up and say, hey, what do you want to do with this $1 million? Your dad just passed away. Well, what he does is this, right? He buys a nice car and, he spends $1 million. But the thing is, at the end of the year, the IRS notifies him of something, and that is based off today's tax brackets, which $1 million would certainly put Jimmy Doe in the highest tax bracket. Let's call it $400,000. Let's round up a little bit. $400,000 tax bill. That means that effectively, that $1 million that John Doe passed on to Jimmy Doe, effectively it comes out to $600,000, right? Jimmy Doe has to downgrade his car at the end of the year prior to April 15th because the IRS just alerted him that he has a $400,000 tax bill, and the time value of money of $600,000 is a heck of a lot less than the time value of money was with $1 million, right? So anyway, the stretch IRA private letter ruling, which was, I don't remember if it was 2001 or 1999. It's one of those years. But the IRS released a private letter ruling saying, you know what, if Jimmy Doe, in this case, so let's use the same example, except now you have the stretch IRA. Here's the thing, if John Doe passes away with that $1 million and Jimmy Doe is, say, 50 years of age, then what is his life expectancy per the IRS life expectancy tables? Table 1 in publication 590, if I remember right. And if Jimmy Doe is, let's say, is 50 years old, well, that means in the year of John Doe's death, or the year after John Doe's death, actually, that Jimmy Doe has to take let's say that the life expectancy table for a 50-year-old says that he's got 33 years to live. Just to keep it simple, 33 years to live. Then that means that Jimmy Doe, in the year after John Doe's death, as a required distribution, not cash out the whole thing, as a required distribution, has to take out 1/33 in that year. That's his required distribution. There's a big difference between taking out $1 million, cashing out the $1 million, getting a $400,000 tax bill, and cashing out $30,000, right? You have this time value of money component. The time value of money of $970,000 is much greater than the time value of money of $600,000. And if Jimmy Doe is now in this annuity, these companies that administer the stretch IRA, which is pretty much all of them right now that the stretch IRA is law, you have that $970,000, and if that annuity is getting any sort of a return whatsoever, let's say 5%, for instance, what you have is that $1 million is not dropping down, it's actually going the other direction in many cases. So you have, in this example, that $1 million is actually growing versus going down to $600,000. Now, the next year, Jimmy Doe has to take 1/32 of that $1,018,500, and then it reduces by 1 again off until it's fully liquidated. But the illustrations on these things look beautiful, even assuming somewhat of a conservative rate of return. The point is the stretch IRA is a beautiful concept, and this is the negative part to this Secure Act. The Secure Act, or the Secure Law, should it become law, gets rid of the stretch IRA. It says that there is a 10-year rule, meaning that $1 million has to be cashed out within 10 years. I don't know what that'll look like. Probably what it'll look like is kind of what it looked like with my 5-year example, right? Where it's cashed out immediately and Jimmy Doe has that big tax bill. So that's a negative to it. Positives to the Secure Act is, again, RMDs not at 70 and a half, but 72 years of age. Safe harbor for annuities. And I don't know, what it takes to be a part of the safe harbor for certain annuities, all that fun stuff. But in short, it expands the capability for employer-sponsored plans to include annuities. In addition to that, kind of a pooling effect. I'm a small employer. Can I pool with like 200 other small employers so I can create investment options via a 401k plan, for instance? Investment options, low-cost investment options, and maybe a 401k type plan to my employees, because traditionally I could not do that, right? It's like a solo K, for instance, or a simple or a set plan. What the Secure Act, which hopefully becomes law, with this stripped out on the stretch IRA, what that would do is it would allow me to do stuff like that. There are a couple other provisions in there. But in short, that is the Secure Act. Kind of the three main things: the stretch IRA, the pooling capability for small employers, required distributions at age 72. That's what most people are talking about right now. And there are, of course, like a million different small provisions in the bill. So hope this video made sense. Let me know if you have any questions. CG Financial Group, I'm Charlie Gipple. Have a good day. Talk to you later.